Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. Aam Aadmi Party Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh's arrest was condemned by all the India bloc partners categorically as vendetta politics. But Congress, which is one of the key constituents of India Alliance, was delayed in its response and issued a statement late last evening. Congress General Secretary KC Venugopal in his statement said that we stand in solidarity with Sanjay Singh and reject the use of enforcement agencies to settle the political scores. But he also took a veiled dig at Aam Aadmi Party over Congress MLA Sukhpal Khaira's arrest in Punjab. And if you look at Venugopal's statement, he said that the authorities must act within the boundaries of the Constitution. And he also said that we cannot become those whom we oppose. So in the wake of Sanjay Singh's arrest, what are the challenges before the Aam Aadmi Party and also the relationship between Congress and Aam Aadmi Party vis-a-vis the India Alliance? Joining me now is a very special panel. Joining us is senior journalist and editor Javed Ansari. Thank you so much, Javed, for joining. We have Chandrasuta Dogra. She's a political commentator. She's formerly been with Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you, Chandra, for joining. We have Puneet Nicholas Yadav, who's a senior editor with the Federal. And also joining us is Pushparaj Deshpande, who's the director for the Samrid Bharat Foundation. Thank you, Pushparaj, for joining. And let me begin with Javed Ansari. Javed, the first question, which of course is that what are the challenges before the Aam Aadmi Party post Sanjay Singh's arrest, given the fact that BJP time to time has been dropping hints through various media that, time is just a matter of time and Kejriwal might be arrested soon. So what happens? I mean, it's a little too far-fetched that, what happens if Kejriwal is arrested, but is this one of the most challenging times before the Aam Aadmi Party, you see, post Sanjay Singh's arrest?
Well, certainly it's a very difficult time for the Aam Aadmi Party. It's not that they were unaware. This has been in the works for long. Apart from the fact that it's the harassment, this is an attempt on the part of the BJP to undercut one of the main planks, the probity plank of the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party had set itself, or would at least like to believe, that it is different from the rest when it comes to issues of corruption and probity and things like that. Now, with 3 of their leaders in jail and threats of the BJP going for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, assuming that even if he does not go to jail, of course, he always has this sword hanging out. So this is an attempt to undercut their main plan. How far will it succeed? Will it go down well with the people? We do not really know. Because if the past is anything to go by, then every time whoever is seen in the public eye as being persecuted or singled out unfairly, he stands to gain as far as public sympathy and public support is concerned. The Aam Aadmi Party was born out of the streets, and so therefore they will join this issue on the streets. For the BJP, for the Aam Aadmi Party and also the India Alliance, they should be prepared for this. But as elections draw near, or at least till the code of conduct is put in place, these things will continue. The BJP will continue, the government will continue to tighten the screws on them, not only in the hope of tarnishing them with them as corrupt, but also to putting a choke on these people, in strong arming them into either leaving the alliance or soft peddling the alliance. You have seen this in the case of BRS. Once his sister was called in, before that he was saying something else. Now he's singing a totally different tune. So there are a lot of parties, a lot of leaders who are susceptible to this arm twisting. And what is happening to the Aam Aadmi Party is not new. But there is a lesson in it for the Aam Aadmi Party and other governments as well. That there is more than an element of truth to what Venugopal said. I mean, you cry horse when it happens to you, but you're not averse to dishing out the same treatment to your opponents. Whether this will bring the two, or whether the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party will disengage, I am not so sure. Because what is the option that either the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress have? They may not come together in Punjab, but in Delhi it makes sense for the two parties to come together. And if they cannot come together, there will be political consequences for both these parties.
Right. Absolutely. Puneet, if I may come to you, I also read your piece, what you wrote on the federal. And if I may ask you, what was the exact reason why there was a delay in Congress's response, which of course came late last evening? What was the exact reason? Of course, Sukhpal Singh Khaira's, and they've done a balancing act in the statement also. But was there some kind of a nudging, on the part of the leaders to coax Congress into issuing a statement, and perhaps there was some kind of an initial reluctance. Was that the case?
Well, there certainly was. I mean, see, the statement came over 24 hours after Mr. Sanjay Singh was arrested. And, uh, for that period, you had different individual leaders, offering different opinions on the matter. You had Mr. Digvijay Singh, who was very categorical in his condemnation of the arrest, and he said that Sanjay Singh is one of the fiercest and most vocal opponents of critics of the Prime Minister, and that is why he's being arrested. Whereas you had Mr. Deepak Babaria, who's the state in charge for Delhi, take a very different view, where he almost condoned the arrest by saying, something to the effect that the law is taking its own course, and if there is a person who's guilty, against whom serious allegations have been made, then naturally the law will proceed as it should. But then, this is not something that is out of the ordinary or entirely unexpected. As Javed Saab also, alluded to right now, the equation between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party is not one of great cordiality. There has and there will be this friction from time to time, because they are basically rivals in two states where the Aam Aadmi Party is in government, and in other states where the Aam Aadmi Party plans to expand its footprint. At the same time, you cannot discount the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party has grown at the expense of the Congress. Uh, you know, we all know what happened during the UPA, the last years of the UPA government, how the Aam Aadmi Party was born, and the impact that the India Against Corruption movement had on the UPA government. So, that friction between Kejriwal and then Mr. Kejriwal and his colleagues, the comments they've made from time to time against various leaders of the Congress party, right from Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi to people like Kamal Nath, etc., are all in public domain. So you can't just brush all that under the carpet, and at the same time, you also cannot ignore the other issues that the Congress has faces in states of Punjab and in Delhi, vis-a-vis the political aspirations of the party and the conflicts with the Aam Aadmi Party. So naturally, there was some kind of that would have determined or caused the delay, rather, in the reaction of the party, and which is also the reason why, even while extending solidarity, it's a qualified solidarity. It's a qualified expression of solidarity where Mr. KC Venugopal, the party general secretary for the organization, has said that we cannot become those we oppose, and he's pointed to the arrest of Sukhpal Khaira, who's a Congress MLA and the chief of the party's farmers' wing. You also cannot ignore the fact that even Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, a week back, when he was campaigning in Chhattisgarh, I think this was the same day of Mr. Khaira's arrest, or maybe the day after that. And he was asked about Mr. Khaira's arrest and whether he saw the Aam Aadmi Party following the same pattern as the BJP in targeting its rivals. And he said that if there is injustice, we are not going to sit quietly. So, all those issues have to be taken into account. And if I may take the liberty, I would, extend this beyond the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress. You see, there is a template that has been set in terms of, governments dealing with political rivals, uh, and, using or misusing central agencies. Uh, I would I would say that that this is something that uh, that has been playing out even in other states. I mean, of course, I'm not comparing what has happened to the Aam Aadmi Party or to Mr. Sanjay Singh with these incidents, but you see, in Kerala, for example, you have a left government and the Congress and opposition, Congress-led opposition alliance, and you have similar instances of agencies being used to target political rivals there. You have a similar thing in Bengal where the Trinamool, despite being part of the India alliance, targets leaders of the left and the Congress. So I mean, what I'm from each of these instances,
Right.
just because they are all part of that umbrella alliance, does not mean that they will always be on the same page with these issues. So
Right.
there will be inherent problems. It's for these parties to sort them out and at least in the big picture present an image of unity.
Right. If I may come to Chandrasutta, what Puneet just mentioned, don't you see this as some kind of a dichotomy as well? Of course, it's like it's a political compulsion by which Aam Aadmi Party and Congress have come together. But the Aam Aadmi Party seems to be having a very authoritarian kind of and a dictatorial kind of a mindset when it comes to Punjab and dealing with its political rivals, which of course is Congress. And then you expect some kind of a cooperation at the national level. How long will this go? This kind of a blow hot, blow cold relationship, and time to time, muscle flexing on both sides. How far can it really go?
Yeah, it's certainly a very troublesome situation for the Aam Aadmi Party, and we all know that it was a very reluctant entrant to the India coalition. The initial meetings, Arvind Kejriwal, I think, didn't even turn up. It was only later that he joined in, and so that is one. And I think one of the main reasons was that we also have to say that the Aam Aadmi Party is in power only in Delhi and in Punjab. These are the only two states where it has clout, and it has massive clout over here. There's no doubt about that. But then this is also a party which has national aspirations. It's already declared as a national party by the Election Commission, but it needs to expand its footprint across the country, and it is desperate to do that. And so it cannot afford to give any seats or a major chunk of the seats to the Congress, either in Delhi or in Punjab, and it'll fight tooth and nail to retain those seats, because we also have to see that the Aam Aadmi Party doesn't have much of a presence in the Lok Sabha. It has just one member, and that also he won a bypoll from a recent bypoll, and that is how they registered their presence in the Lok Sabha. So it is these seats which count, and the party knows that whatever we can mop up in coming elections will be from Punjab and maybe Delhi. Very little possibility from the other states. Even in Gujarat, it seems very
You talk
unlikely.
about these aspirations, Chandra, but will it happen like this? The manner in which they arrested Sukhpal Singh Khaira, and that kind of posturing, is it right on the part of Aam Aadmi Party, and then giving a statement saying that we will carry forward this to tackle this drug menace, and the kind of statements which came after
Yeah,
that?
so a lot of these things are for public consumption. We know that all parties are two-faced, what they say to the public and what happens behind the scenes. And in the case of Sukhpal Khaira, I think the party has behaved very similar to what is happening with Sanjay Singh today by the BJP. Sanjay Singh has been very critical of the BJP and Prime Minister Modi. Similarly, Sukhpal Khaira has been extremely critical of the Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and the other top leaders of Aam Aadmi Party. Every morning, he puts out a couple of tweets which are very hard hitting. He backs it up with facts, figures, documents, which is very difficult to deny. And at one press conference, the Chief Minister even said that this person, Sukhpal Khaira, iske tweets, they're driving me nuts.
Chandra,
So it was very important to silence this guy.
Yeah,
I think
Sukhpal Khaira has been a very staunch critic of Aam Aadmi Party since long. And but was this the trigger factor that what he said about Raghav Chadda's expensive ring which he wore for his wedding? Was that the trigger factor? Because many people there in Punjab circles talk about the fact that this was the immediate trigger why Sukhpal Khaira was arrested. Was Raghav Chadda's
well, one can speculate. One can certainly speculate, but it's difficult to say what really happened behind the scenes. But yes, Punjab is rife with this speculation. But even before that, Sukhpal Khaira has been he's a very staunch critic, and mind you, he was once with the Aam Aadmi Party. He was the leader of opposition in the Aam Aadmi Party, and then of course fell out with the top leadership and left. And so all that is there. But where intolerance is concerned and intolerance to criticism, the Aam Aadmi Party seems to be just like the other conventional parties, because if you remember last year's episode with Tejinder Bagga, that was just a few months after the party came to power, and it got control of the Punjab police. So within months, it set loose the Punjab police and got hold of Tejinder Bagga, and the guy was rescued in Haryana because the BJP is in power in Haryana. So the Haryana police came and rescued him from the clutches of the Punjab police. So there again, we saw that if the party has control over a law enforcing agency, then it can stoop to the same very depths which the other parties are guilty of, whether at the center or in the states. Everyone we are seeing now is misusing the state agencies for their political ends.
Right.
So that way, the Aam Aadmi Party has become just like any other conventional party. That party with a difference, that halo is all but gone. So there we are, whether it is in their politics or in their manner of functioning or in their democratic credentials, etc. It's just as good or just as bad as any other party.
Right. So if that is the case, and that is the situation where Aam Aadmi Party has almost reached, Pushpraj, if I may ask you, that many people say that if given a chance to Aam Aadmi Party, and if they get a chance like BJP, they might be more lethal than BJP. What is your assessment, given the fact that, this kind of a relationship, uneasy relationship which exists right now currently between Congress and Aam Aadmi Party? And the same question which I asked Chandrasuta, that how far do you see this going ahead? Can it tide over the general elections, or you see some further cracks developing?
Hi, Niluji. So, I guess the speculative part of your question, I really don't have an answer. Only time will tell, because this depends primarily on how the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress conduct themselves, and how they are able to adhere to the coalition dharma. Now, to the best of my knowledge, there has been an expression of solidarity from the Congress Party for Sanjay Singh and Aam Aadmi Party in general. Not just yesterday, but also on the floor of the House when Sanjay Singh's suspension and Raghav Chadda's suspension had come up. So in a sense, as part of the India parties, as part of the India alliance, all parties are trying their level best to compromise, accommodate each other, and doing their coalition dharma. There are, of course, a few people, outliers, who are speaking, but the fact of the matter is that, the Congress is not a unitarian party, where one supreme leader runs the ship and cracks the whip and everyone just falls mutely in line. That's not the Congress. It's like India. It's a federal decision making, and it has regional concerns. That's why people in Delhi and Punjab will speak differently. So that's one part of it. And let's not make a mountain of the molehill about why the Congress is democratic and federal. That's a completely different issue. The High Command has spoken in one voice. The Congress leadership has extended support. Having said that, I think what our previous panelist was saying, the Aam Aadmi Party has to come across, has to do much more than be this unitarian exclusionary party. It has to learn to compromise and accommodate when it is working along with 26 other parties in an alliance. So it has to be different from the BJP, because see, think about this. They came to power in Punjab, I think in March last year, right? March or April last year. And since then, I know for a fact that at least 15 Congress leaders have been not just under the scanner of the Vigilance Bureau, but many of them have been arrested. This includes the former CM Channi, former Deputy CM OP Soni, Vijayendra Singla, Bharat Ashu, Brahm Mohindra, Sangat Singh Gilzan, Balbir Sidhu, then this Kangar, this Arora. There are multiple Congress leaders. These are just the ministers that I'm speaking about. There are many other workers who have been jailed. Now, how can the Aam Aadmi Party be claimed to be a different party when it's practicing the exact same tactics and resorting to the exact same tactics and strategies that the BJP uses? And let's not. So you have to practice what you preach. That's one thing. Having said that, I think the larger question is that states and government have to practice the same. They have to restrain themselves. They have to adhere to a certain Raj Dharma. The BJP has been very, very non-partisan about this. If you see the ED's conviction rates, out of the 5,900 cases that they have slapped, they have a record of only 25 convictions, and 176 cases have been slapped against sitting MPs, MLAs, and MLCs. 86% of those 176 cases are against opposition MPs. So the fact of the matter is there is a general trend of misuse of governing apparatus of the state, and this is at the center certainly. If the India alliance is going to be different, is going to be offering a different thing, then they have to conduct themselves differently. That goes for Aam Aadmi Party also, that goes for Congress also. Now, I don't see that the Congress cracking down on either Aam Aadmi Party in either Rajasthan or in Chhattisgarh. They've done multiple rallies. They've been allowed to function freely. They have not really cracked down on them, or even for that matter in Karnataka. So I think, they have to extend the same courtesy.
Right. Yeah. Javed, yesterday, JP Nadda somewhere said that, BJP needs to finish up all the regional parties. And, he was trying to address, I don't remember the name of the place, but he was trying to tell the workers this bit. Now, if this be the case, and if BJP has made up its mind to finish up parties like Aam Aadmi Party, and since we're talking about Aam Aadmi Party and its relationship with Congress, what happens if Kejriwal gets arrested? Or do you see the likelihood of it happening at all?
Look, with BJP, I won't put anything past them, but it will be extremely foolhardy. And I do believe that we may or may not like the BJP, but the BJP knows what it's doing. There's a method behind its madness. So I hope that there are enough sensible men and women still in the BJP who will advise the leadership, if they ever listen to anybody else's advice, to desist from such a this will be a political misadventure of incredible proportions. So they can go ahead and do it. They're at the center. They have the two permanent allies with them. And if what Mr. Nadda has said is true, he had earlier said this as well, and if he's repeated it, then this could come back to bite the BJP, because all indications are that even the best case scenario for the BJP is that its numbers will be reduced and it may get 210 or 220, in which case it will need friends and allies. And if you want to finish them, then this is the best way of how not to win over friends, or add to your list of friends. So this could come back to sting them at the back. As far as the contradictions between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress is concerned, look, when 26 different parties come together, this is natural. This is also a test for the political management skills of both the leadership of the Congress Party as also the Aam Aadmi Party, provided they are sincere. One senior person was telling me that the reason that this Khaira episode took place is because the Aam Aadmi Party doesn't want to ally with the Congress in Punjab. It's not it. So they want to, they rather than be seen as rejecting this, the possibility of such a tie-up, they want to create conditions so that, both sides decide that, it's better not to go in for an alliance. So they are just clearing the pitch in Punjab. But I find it difficult to visualize a scenario where they will go their separate ways in Punjab, but have some kind of an alliance in Delhi. It'll either be an alliance in both states or none. Again, the art coalition is also is to a very large extent depends on how you manage contradictions. It's the art of managing contradictions.
Yeah.
And if the leadership of both parties or if the collective leadership of India Alliance doesn't manage its contradictions, they will fall short of their stated ambitions. Because what the grand idea, it's not that all these parties are ideologically on one page. The broad thing that the one thing they have in common is the desire to haul the BJP over the coals, is to oust the BJP. And for that, every seat matters. So if you're going to leave seven seats here and then, seats in Punjab and then other seats. So, every bit counts. And if you're going to leave all this out, it's not as if the India Alliance has 400 seats in its kitty. So if 17 seats go away, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Every seat counts. So they will have to, if they are serious, if this talk of India Alliance offering a one-to-one contest is serious, and it's not just an eyewash, then they will need to put aside their differences at the state level. And at least as far as the Lok Sabha elections are concerned, they need to come together.
Right.
So we will know the stuff that they are made of. And this applies to every member of the India Alliance, principally to AAP and to the Congress party.
Absolutely. Puneet, but given the kind of acrimony which is playing out in Punjab, do you see that there can be some kind of a common minimum understanding between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress? Or is the formula already worked out that, okay, for you Punjab, if it doesn't work, Delhi will try and make it work? Of course, there will be some mature... Yes, Javiji, you're raising a hand.
If at all there is an understanding, there will be no common minimum program in Punjab. The only minimum understanding will be that we won't contest against each other in Punjab. That's the minimum and maximum that they are willing to concede to each other.
Okay. But Puneet, how does it work at the national level, really, when it comes to the India Alliance seat sharing? Because we haven't heard too much on the seat sharing, on what is really happening, when is the next meeting happening? How far have they gone ahead with the seat sharing formula?
Neelu, till the time, seat sharing is a very complicated issue. It's not something that as some had suggested earlier after the coordination committee meeting, that within a month or a month and a half, seat sharing will be finalized. It's not something that's going to happen like that. There are various complications, particularly in states where you have new allies, where you have existing allies like, say, a Bihar or a Jharkhand or a Tamil Nadu. It'll be easier, but with regard to the Aam Aadmi Party, it is always going to be difficult. With regard to the Trinamool, it is always going to be difficult. And I completely agree with what Javed Sahab just said. What I was given to understand by some was also quite similar to what Javed Sahab just pointed out, that the Khaira arrest was to clear the pitch for an alliance between the Congress and an Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. What I was given to understand was that the Aam Aadmi Party is quite convinced that it does not want a seat sharing at large with, whether it's Delhi or Punjab. And of course, neither does the Congress's Delhi or Punjab unit. But then it does not at the same time want to be seen as the party that is breaking off from the alliance, which is why you have Kejriwal repeatedly saying that I'm committed to the India bloc. It would rather create a situation where the Congress decides that, okay, we're not going to have an alliance. But then having said that, you also look at the reaction of the left. what Mr. Sitaram Yechuri said with regard to the left's seat sharing arrangement with the Trinamool and the Congress in Bengal or the Congress in Kerala. So anybody in that, with any little political sense would know that you cannot have the left and the Congress on the same side in Kerala. Or, even with regard to Bengal, it's going to be difficult. So they may still be part of the India alliance, but they may not have a seat sharing arrangement. Now, one may question, how does this work? What's the point of being in an alliance if you don't have a seat sharing arrangement, etc. But then there are ground realities. There are issues of, parties protecting their political seats or, whatever ground they have left, which cannot be ignored. So, so those issues are there. I think seat sharing is going to take time. There is also a sense within various parties and, of course, within the Congress that once the assembly elections, this round of assembly elections concludes, the Congress will be in a better position to bargain for seats because there will be a certain buoyancy if within the party if the results are favorable, and by and large the expectation is that they will be favorable, which is also possibly the reason why some of the regional parties in the alliance wanted the seat sharing to be at least the broad framework to be finalized before the assembly elections, because they did not want the Congress to revert to its big brother attitude. Right. But I think it's going to take time. There are other issues also which have not been addressed adequately by the coalition. We saw how their grand plans of having their joint rally in Bhopal panned out. So these problems will be there. As Javed Sahab also said, there is. It depends on the skills of the top leadership of each of these parties, how they tide over these issues.
All right. So now I'll come for the concluding comments to Chandra and Pushpa. Chandra, to you first. What are the learning lessons for Aam Aadmi Party currently, given the situation of what has happened within the Aam Aadmi Party and, of course, its relationship with the parties within the India Alliance as well? What are the learnings?
I think the party is growing up. It is learning, because if you remember, a couple of years ago, they were averse to joining hands with any other party. For them, every other party was stained and corrupted, etc. So now the very fact that it is extending a hand, it is joining coalitions, etc., it shows that this is a growing up phase. But then this, remember, is a party with which has got an image of being, the angry young entrant into politics and dhuadhar kind of batting, etc. So all that, they will have to put that behind them and begin to take on a more responsible a profile of their own, because you cannot function in a coalition unless there is some give and take. But then, as you also pointed out, the Aam Aadmi Party is contesting and fighting for the very same vote bank which the Congress held in the past. At least in Punjab, the 42% vote share which the Aam Aadmi Party got in the 2022 elections, roughly half of it came from the Congress. The Congress slipped by around 17 to 18%, and that vote share moved towards the Aam Aadmi Party, and that is how they won. This is common knowledge. Everybody knows. Aam Aadmi Party doesn't have any other state to go to. So it cannot afford. It's a political compulsion for them to oppose the Congress. And I completely agree with Javadji's assessment that this whole Khaira episode, and possibly one or two other, the way they've been arresting and going after the Congress leaders in the recent past, is aimed at querying the pitch. They really don't want an alliance because they cannot afford to. It's as simple as that. It's a political compulsion for them. If they give even, let's assume 4 or 5 seats to the Congress, then what are they left with? And as it is with the graph of the party falling fairly rapidly in Punjab, I mean, it's anybody's guess how many seats they will get. Already there's a fight for the Chandigarh Lok Sabha seat. The Congress has told the Aam Aadmi Party that, listen, you should back off and we are going to field our candidate. So we are seeing all this happening now. The Chandigarh Lok Sabha seat is also a very prestigious seat and, well, one more in the kitty. So when it comes to the rest of Punjab and also in Delhi, there would be many more fireworks, and I don't see, I mean, it has to be a passive kind of a friendly match or of some sort, but the Aam Aadmi Party will fight tooth and nail. They will not give up seats in Punjab, that's for sure.
Okay, so Aam Aadmi Party will continue to fight tooth and nail. Pushpraj, your concluding comments. So Congress is okay with the Aam Aadmi Party being fierce at the state level, and of course, especially referring it to Punjab. Will it be okay then? And then there will be some kind of an understanding which it will arrive at the national level?
See, parties, frankly speaking, at this juncture need to keep their lust for power aside, and they really need to accept ground realities. As things stand today, the internal surveys of AAP, BJP and Congress are saying that the AAP on its own will not do as well as they could have done last year if elections were held last year. It's advantage BJP partly because of the multiple other issues that have happened in the last 1 year. Plus, the Aam Aadmi Party has lost a lot of its credibility because of the cases that have happened. That plus, of course, Amritpal Singh and many other factors have sort of vitiated the atmosphere in Punjab. It's no longer advantage AAP. It is decisively advantage BJP. Now, there are 13 Lok Sabha seats in Punjab, 1 in Chandigarh and 7 in Delhi. Total of 21. So Aam Aadmi Party has to decide if it wants to give the BJP these 21 seats. If they do, they can continue to conduct themselves in an adversarial manner with the Congress and decide that we will not give them seats in Punjab. If they do that, their own internal surveys is showing that they're going to get wiped out. They might get 1 or 2 odd seats, but they're going to get wiped out. Now, there are also, keep this in mind, this is not in the public domain, but there are all the other options opening up in Punjab. Those who are discerning and keeping close eye on what is happening in Punjab should understand that the Congress is not bereft of options. There are multiple other options. If the Congress actually decides to bite the bullet and explore those options, Aam Aadmi Party, forget about losing Punjab Lok Sabha elections. Its career in Punjab is over. It's in the future, in the long run. So they have to learn to adhere to coalition dharma, and in their own self-interest, they need to conduct themselves mindfully. If they don't do that, they're going to lose both Punjab and Delhi. And this is just the national party things aside, it's going to become a rump party in the next 2 years.
Right. All right. So interesting times ahead, and we'll have to wait and watch how this Raj Dharma and the coalition Dharma is being followed by all the India coalition partners. Thank you so much, Javed Ansari. Thank you so much, Puneet, Chandra, Pushpraj. Thank you so much for joining. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion, subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.